Welcome everybody to this session. So I'm coming now from a completely different world, I would say. So you may all know the 20% target from the Commission side on industry in Europe. I belong in Germany to the 23% we already had there for industry of the GDP. So I belong to the so-called old economies, we would like to call it more forward economy, and we deliver all the technologies which are necessary to bring, let's say, this old type of physical industry together with the new internet economies. And, maybe the one or the other of you are aware that we need sensors, we use it in cars, we use it in machines, we use them in all our smartphones, and the majority of those sensors are produced in companies located in Germany, not only large multinationals like Bosch, but the majority of those companies are small and medium sized. And what we all try to bring nowadays together, these two worlds, to make it a profitable world for companies, for our societies. And I would like to share a little bit of the experience we made over the last almost 5 years in Germany. So I'm one of the founders of the German platform Industry 4.0 in the year 2012, where we, for the first time, brought together the machinery industry, the electronics industry, and the ICT industry. So up to that time, we had, let's say, a life in separate areas, and I can tell you it took us about 1 year to learn to talk to each other. It was not a problem, let's say, of the personal relationship, but we had to learn the different languages, the machinery language, the electronics language, and the ICT language. And to make the story short, I would say nowadays we really presented important key issues on the technical side to bring the different sides together. And what we did is we separated and brought in the same way together the so-called old industry, the shop floor, with what we call the consumer side, the office floor. And we had to learn that on both sides we had a lot of experience with software. On the industry side, we call about that embedded software. We don't all know about that, but it was not that much clear on the consumer side. And at the moment, we had a joint understanding. We put forward our German approach to a European approach, and we were in very close contact since the early times with Commissioner Oettinger. And we both decided that in the very next step it was necessary to get in contact with the US side. So the US side, they already formed an own consortium, the Industrial Internet Consortium. And in the first weeks and months, maybe also 1 year, it was a rather confrontative discussion, because we thought that the one will take the business of the other. But at the end, and I think this is new, and we should take that much more into account, we need both sides. And nowadays, we cooperate on both sides of the Atlantic, and hopefully we can go forward in this way, because this is one of the values we think we can bring to our societies, to bring all those different types of technologies together. My first message, therefore, is competition and cooperation at the same time. Is something new we had to implement also to the regulatory framework of the EU as well as on the national level. So the second issue I would like to share with you is on data. So up to now, I think it's absolutely clear the money earned in our companies are based on physical products, cars, components, machines, whatever. In the future, we have to talk much more about business models. And therefore, all the data are necessary, not only machine data, but in the health sector also personal data. And what we think is absolutely necessary is to have an absolutely free flow of data. Possible, we have to make it possible, but we know that in particular in the field of personal data, we have to overcome many regulatory obstacles on the one hand, but we also have to convince all our inhabitants in all our countries. Because in the past we avoided to use many data, and all our regulatory systems were based on not using too many data. In the future, it's absolutely the other way around. Is there a way forward, also together with the policymakers, to bring that forward? And it's my clear belief and the belief of our association that it will be quite complicated to find there a regulatory framework of the type we were used to make regulations in the past. And I think we have to look for different types of regulations, maybe less, maybe more. I think this is what we have to learn. And the Commission communication, therefore, we think is really the right way forward, because you didn't give answers but raised questions. And you raised the right questions. And to make that clear, we do not have all the answers. But I think this is also a different type of approach which we can support, and at the end we will have good results. Third issue I would like to raise is, and this is also, let's say, something which is different to the past. In the past we had years, maybe decades of time to regulate energy, climate, chemicals, whatever. Yeah. All my personal experience over 3 decades of business in Brussels. Nowadays, we have the need to follow the speed of the developments in those sectors which are active in this field. And speed means you have, let's say, the regulatory area in which you can regulate on the national, on the European base, but the free flow of data means there is no border available. So what can we do to be the fastest at the end for our businesses, in particular in Europe, in Germany, to be faster as somewhere in the world? Because of the free flow of data, it's much more complicated to find the right framework conditions on a national level. Nevertheless, I would say we have to convince our inhabitants in all our countries on this way, and it's really a challenge for industry, for business, for the policy side as well, and how we can convince. And we are, I guess, all aware of the political situation in many of our countries, in particular in Europe. Last but not least, so very often when I had discussions about what we call it Industry 4.0, we heard from the automotive industry, but others, energy, utility companies, we own the data. So there is a clear risk which we have to avoid, that we have monopolies of data. And it's not only, let's say, Google or Facebook, it's also the automotive industry, the auto OEM like BMW, like Peugeot and others, but the utility companies as well. Because they have one advantage, which is an advantage of the past. They know their regulatory framework very well. And we now, with our sensors, we come into this regulatory framework. And a sensor producer, he would also like to use the data. And what is now the result? And we think we have to be extremely careful to follow, let's say, old type of thinking that the car is the most important type of product we need. So the Google card is produced by the members of my association. The sensors, the automotive electronics, all those intelligent systems. So, and I think this is what we very much have to take in mind, that in these times of change, we also have to take into account that the regulatory framework we have established now over the last decades, in particular in Brussels, may not feed with the necessary framework conditions we need for the future. And therefore, I find it so important to have the opportunity to talk to you tonight, and hopefully we can get in contact to you much closer, as we did it in Germany. And I can tell you, we are in a permanent learning phase, and hopefully we can do that in the same way here in Brussels. And therefore, thank you very much again for the invitation today. Thank you.